Manchester United fans, there's a very big issue inside our club that I think we need to sit down and discuss. Just give me a few minutes of your time, because I really want to hear your thoughts on this. This is a problem that has been there for a very long time, and I think it's time we addressed it openly. I'll start by telling you what I personally believe the problem is, and after that, I'd love to hear your opinions down in the comments. So let's get right into it. And of course, if you love Manchester United content like this, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future uploads. We've all noticed and seen players leave Manchester United on a bad note. There is always a way these players leave the club, and when you look closely, there's a clear pattern in how these exits keep happening. Let's go through some examples. First, David de Gea. One of the most loyal players we've had. He joined during Sir Alex Ferguson's era and literally kept Manchester United alive in some of our darkest days. He was so good that fans used to joke, De Gea could save the Titanic. But how did his time at the club end? After years of service, he was pushed aside quietly, almost like he was a nobody. Ten Hag decided he wanted Andre Onana instead, and today, many fans argue that Onana has been one of the worst goalkeepers in our recent history. What makes this sad is that he never caused problems, never disrespected the club, and never went to the media to complain. He simply wasn't wanted anymore, that's the reality. Now let's talk about Marcus Rashford. During Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's time, Rashford was seen as the face of Manchester United. He was our go-to player, the man carrying the team at times. Under Ten Hag, he even scored 30 goals in a single season, his best ever. But then Ruben Amorim arrived, and suddenly, stories started to leak about clashes behind the scenes. People said Rashford was lazy or not giving his best. But no one truly knows what happened. All we do know is that he went from being one of our brightest stars to being on the wrong side of the new manager. The same story played out with Jadon Sancho. United spent a massive fee to bring him in under Ole, hoping he would be the spark we needed on the wings. But fast forward a little, and under Ten Hag, the situation exploded. Ten Hag publicly questioned his training levels, Sancho hit back on social media, and suddenly, the relationship broke down completely. What was supposed to be a marquee signing ended in media battles and a bitter exit. Then we have Antony. This one is particularly interesting, because Ten Hag was the one who pushed for his signing. United paid a huge fee to bring him in from Ajax. But once the new manager came in, Antony's situation completely changed. He was dropped, loaned out to Real Betis, and eventually forced into a permanent move away from the club. Not because of bad behavior, not because of controversies in the media, but simply because he was no longer in the plans. Look at Rasmus Højlund as well. A young striker brought in as the future of United's attack. But very quickly, the story shifted. He was labelled not good enough, pushed to the bench, and eventually loaned out to Napoli and was replaced with Benjamin Sesko. And just like that, Højlund's journey at Old Trafford looked over, again, no scandals, no bad attitude, just a player discarded. And then there's Alejandro Garnacho. At first, he was seen as one of our brightest prospects under Ten Hag. A future superstar. But under Ruben Amorim, reports came out about clashes with the coach. Garnacho didn't handle things perfectly, but the bottom line is, another young talent once full of promise ended up on the wrong side of yet another managerial change. Finally, let's look at Kobbie Mainoo. One of the most exciting young players United have produced in years. Fans saw him as a cornerstone for the future. But now, even he is being linked with an exit, simply because it seems he doesn't fit into the current manager's long-term plans. He just wants game time, and it doesn't look like he'll get it here. Once again, the same cycle repeats. Now, when you step back and look at all these cases, you see one thing clearly: it always happens when a new coach comes in. Every new manager at Manchester United arrives with his own ideas, his own style, and his own players that he wants to bring in. And in the process, certain players get pushed aside. One manager calls a player lazy, another manager says a player doesn't fit the system. Some players are branded not good enough. And in the end, those players leave, only to succeed elsewhere. Meanwhile, the manager who made those decisions eventually gets sacked. And then guess what? The next manager comes in, does the same thing, and the cycle starts all over again. The truth is, United keep spending money on every new manager's project, while losing valuable players who could have contributed if they were given time and proper support. Instead of stability, we've had constant resets. Think about it, since Sir Alex retired, how many times have we seen this exact movie? A new manager arrives, clears out players, brings in his own, struggles to impose his style, and eventually leaves. Then the next man comes in and repeats the same process. It's a never-ending loop that hurts the players, the team, and the club's long-term progress. So here's what I believe: Manchester United's biggest problem is not just the players, and not even always the managers, it's the lack of stability and patience. Constantly changing coaches means constantly clashing with players, constantly wasting money, and constantly losing talent who could have been part of the future. Until the club learns to give managers real time and builds a proper long-term vision, we will keep seeing this same sad story: players leaving on bad terms, managers getting sacked, and the cycle starting again. But that's just my opinion. What do you think? Who do you believe had the worst exit from Manchester United? And what's the real solution to this ongoing problem? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's have a real conversation about it. And don't forget, if you enjoyed this breakdown, give the video a like, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into Manchester United.